So if you're manufacturing products overseas, you already know the struggle, right? Your factory is, thousands of miles away? And you're basically stuck relying on emails and a few photos to make sure everything's up to snuff. But how can you really be sure what's going on over there on the production line? Well, today, let's pull back the curtain on this super critical part of the supply chain.
Okay, picture this. You're all set to get your order checked out, and then, bam, an email lands in your inbox. It's an excuse, another delay, and something about it just doesn't feel right. This one? This is a classic. It's one of the most common excuses factories throw out there to push back on quality checks.
Sound familiar? Yeah, I bet it does. Maybe for you, it wasn't a power outage. Maybe it was something like, oh, a machine is broken, or, our sub-supplier hasn't delivered the packaging yet. Whatever it is, these excuses, they're just a constant source of frustration for importers. And they always leave you wondering, what is really going on over there?
Look, I get it. It can be super tempting to just let it slide, to avoid a fight. But trust me, the consequences of skipping an inspection can be, catastrophic. We're not talking about a small hiccup here. We're talking about things like costly product recalls, huge losses in revenue, and a brand reputation that you've worked so hard to build, shattered overnight. So to dodge that bullet, you absolutely need a new strategy. You need a partner, an independent partner, right there on the ground, someone who can literally be your trusted eyes and ears on the factory floor.
And that solution has a name, third-party inspection, or TPI for short. So what is it? It's actually pretty simple. It's when you hire a totally neutral, non-biased company to go into the factory and physically check your products. They're not connected to you. They're not connected to the factory. Their one and only job is to give you an objective report on whether your stuff actually meets your standards.
Okay, but you might be thinking, wait, why not just hire my own QC person? And that's a great question. The answer really boils down to a few huge advantages. First, impartiality. A third party isn't answering to the factory manager, so you know their report is going to be unbiased. They also bring specialized expertise that's hard to find. And here's the kicker. They're scalable. You only pay for an inspection when you need one, so you don't have a full-time salary on the books when production is slow. Super cost-effective.
All right, so you're sold on the idea. But how do you actually do this without creating a bunch of tension with your supplier? Well, it all comes down to having a clear, proactive playbook. So let's walk through the 4 big keys to making this a really smooth process.
So here's the playbook. It's 4 key steps. Number 1, state your intent early. Number 2, set expectations for what happens if things fail. 3 is all about customizing your reports. And finally, number 4, you've got to review those results collaboratively. All right, let's break each of these down. Okay, key number 1, state your intent. And with this one, timing is absolutely everything. You have to, and I mean have to, state your intention to use a third-party inspector before you even place the order. Why? Because a factory that knows an inspection is coming is just going to handle your order differently. This isn't about playing gotcha. It's about setting clear, professional expectations right from the get-go. Now, what if your supplier pushes back? Well, some industry experts have some, let's say, creative advice. The idea is to frame the inspection as a non-negotiable company policy. You could say it's a requirement from a huge customer, or, as one expert hilariously put it, tell them it's an edict from a king. The point, no matter how you phrase it, is to send a crystal clear signal. This is not up for negotiation. It's a requirement.
And to make it all official, the absolute best practice is to bake it right into your purchase order. A simple clause, just like this one, makes it legally clear that the entire order has to get a pass result before you'll even accept the shipment. This isn't just a suggestion. It gives you real contractual leverage.
Okay, let's say you do all that, but the inspection fails. Now what? This is where key number 2 is so important. Think about it. Once production is done, the factory is itching to ship the goods and get paid. That's why you need a clear, pre-agreed plan for how to handle defective stuff. You have to make it crystal clear that you, not the inspector, make the final call on shipping. And here's a huge negotiating tip. Get the supplier to agree upfront to pay for any reinspection fees if the first one fails. That's a game changer. And this brings us to the last 2 keys, which are really all about shifting your mindset. It's about turning this whole inspection thing from a policing action into a real partnership. The whole goal is to make it a tool for mutual improvement. And you do that with Key 3, getting customized clear reporting, and Key 4, reviewing those results with your supplier, like a partner. You're not just there to point out what's wrong, you're there to build a better process together.
So yeah, catching defects is obviously important. But the real value, the real ROI of TPI goes so much deeper than that. You have to stop thinking of this as just another cost. It's a strategic investment, and believe me, the return is serious.
And if you want proof, here's a perfect example. There was an Amazon seller who managed to regain $1 million in revenue, that's $1 million, all after putting a thorough TPI process in place. And get this, at the same time, their product's star rating shot up from 3.5 to 4.7. That is the kind of tangible, real-world business impact we're talking about. So really, I want you to think of it this way. Every single dollar you put into inspection isn't a cost, it's a direct investment. It's an investment in your brand's reputation, in building trust with your customers, and of course, in cutting down on those super expensive returns and recalls. It just creates a culture of accountability, and that's good for everyone.
Okay, this brings us to our final takeaway. And honestly, this might be the most important one of all. Because how your supplier responds when you tell them you require inspections, well, it's incredibly revealing.
When it comes down to it, it's really this simple. A good supplier, a true partner, will see inspection as a way to get better. They'll actually welcome the feedback because it's a chance for them to improve and meet your standards. But a supplier who resists, well, they might see it as something else entirely, like a threat.
And that leads to the ultimate question you have to ask yourself. After you've done everything right, communicated clearly, planned professionally, if your supplier is still fighting you on this, you really have to wonder, what exactly are they trying to hide?